This presentation is about formative assessments and how they can be roadmaps to student success. The goal of this presentation is to explore the idea of formative assessments as used in a classroom setting. It will cover the purpose, relationship to CUDs, importance of grading, feedback, as well as examples of formal and informal assessments. There's a lot of information students are expected to learn in a school year. Oftentimes, it can feel overwhelming and stressful for a teacher to plan effective, differentiated lessons for a group. It can be like going on a road trip with no GPS or Google Maps. You know the intended destination, but with the millions of roads you can take to get there, it's overwhelming to figure out the best route. One way lessons can be focused is to use CUDs. CUD is an acronym that stands for what we want students to know, understand, and be able to do. Focusing lessons on specific content, or CUDs, allows a teacher to effectively scaffold information for students and support student content mastery. It's like turning on your GPS or Google Maps. One way to assess if a CUD is being met is by using formative assessment. Formative assessment, also known as ongoing assessment, happens throughout the unit of study at various times of instruction. Formative assessments are used to guide, mentor, direct, and encourage student growth. It allows the teacher to monitor student progress towards mastery of content knowledge and helps point out classroom trends and content misconceptions. In our road trip, these are the directions given by Google Map. They tell us when to turn, slow down for a speed trap, or when we need to reroute for a better route. Formative assessments should be used to guide and direct student classroom instruction in an effective way to reach the learning targets. Formative assessments are rarely graded and should be used, again, to guide and direct classroom instruction. Formative assessments fall into two categories: formal and informal. Formal assessments are what is typically thought of in the school setting. Time is set aside in instruction for assessments, and they're usually graded, allowing for teachers to know a specific student's understanding of the content knowledge. Some examples of formal assessments are surveys, exit tickets, quizzes, diagrams, homework checks, and exit cards. Informal assessments happen throughout the school day, but time is not necessarily set aside in the lesson plan. These types of assessments provide a general sense of the overall classroom understanding and trends, as well as allow the teacher to get an idea of the learning profiles of specific students. Examples of informal assessment are talking to students, student observation, teacher notes, asking questions, and windshield response. Whether you're choosing formal or informal assessments, it's extremely important that the information gathered from any of these assessments be used to influence and diversify lessons. Think back to our road trip analogy. If our Google Map gives us feedback in our trip, such as turn right here, and we ignore the feedback, we'll end up lost or taking a longer way to get to our destination. The same with feedback from formative assessments. If we get the feedback but ignore or don't use it, then our students will not be able to progress effectively towards mastery or goal of the content. Two ways formative assessment can influence instruction is by grading and student-teacher feedback. Grading is simply assigning a value or worth to work quality. Grading allows teachers to see trends in specific students' understanding and progress towards learning targets. An effective teacher will notice if a student who once excelled in reading all of a sudden receives a failing grade in comprehension questions, and will therefore focus the student's independent or small group work on reading comprehension skills to support that student's success. While grades are necessary in the school setting, grading shouldn't be the only thing that assigns value to a student's work or indicates instructional modifications. Providing feedback to a student after any assessment can allow students to feel a sense of responsibility for his or her learning journey. Effective feedback to students needs to be specific and given in a timely manner. Imagine Google Maps decided it was too tired to tell you of an upcoming slowdown that increased your trip by 30 minutes. The results would be frustration towards Google Maps and mistrust of the app. The same can be said about delayed feedback to students. If a student cannot trust a teacher to give feedback in a timely manner, the student will lose trust in the teacher's motives and feel unsupported in the classroom. While feedback given shortly after gathered allows teachers and students to get real-time understanding of where a student stands in relationship to mastery and what educational steps should happen next. Students can feel empowered and gain a sense of ownership in their education. Teachers should also use the feedback given by assessments to differentiate lesson plans. No single student is alike, and what methods worked for one class may not work for another. Education is all about adapting and adjusting curriculum to meet the current needs of the students. Just like Google Maps needs to update, teachers should constantly be updating and diversifying their instructional methods based on the information given by formative assessments. If they don't, students may never reach the goal of content mastery. Formative assessments are one tool that teachers can use to create a successful educational journey for each student.